We juked you all. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Bahamut. We are here for Heroic Division with We Take These on the left-hand side and Quarantine Qappas on the right, but that's not all we're joined by. We are joined by Jinxie Cat this evening. How are you, and how are you feeling on these heroic games?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for asking it. I'm super excited. I really love these teams. I've gotten to cast both of them throughout the season, and they always bring they are super exciting to watch. I'm very excited to answer your question, I suppose, is the answer.
All right, well, we do have the teams finally getting on into lobby, so let's go ahead and join, or excuse me, actually the draft itself. But before we get into the draft here, first things first, we always got to find out how we got here. Home team this evening is going to be the members of We Take These, as they are the higher seeded team. They can either choose first pick or map pick. Raxus and Sky Temple were banned up by them. Infernal Shrines, Towers of Doom were banned up by Quarantine Qappas. And Volskaya will be the first map chosen by Quarantine Qappas. Back in our draft, though, we are in Volskaya. So, Jinxie, any sort of tanks that you'd prioritize here? Does Mal'Ganis stand out to you, or is he just kind of to the wayside after he had that rework?
So Mal'Ganis is actually still very strong, and he's really great for a map like Volskaya just because he has the ability to really sustain with that trait of his. He can just go ahead, drop in your backline, do a ton of damage, and then not have to worry about pressing his abilities because those autos will keep him nice and healthy. So I would love to see a Mal'Ganis here. I think he's really great.
And many more Togo.
Because over, on a point control based map where you're going to be brawling a lot, this is the same thing as like we see a lot of Mephisto being popped up as well, because of the fact that you can dive in, you can poke, you can get cooldowns on your abilities, and you can actually get a lot of good sustained damage with them as well. So I wonder if we maybe fall into this poke oriented composition where they kind of maybe dive in and a little bit with the Mal'Ganis. Maybe they have a gray main as well, and then they can just kind of poke and dive in this sort of hybrid composition. I kind of like that. But Cassie will be banned out as she is mega strong as of late, and people are really kind of figuring that out now. It took them a little bit, but now Cassie is strong.
I say every night that I'm casting, I'm like, yep, strongest hero in the game, and I say that about like 9 different heroes. She is really strong, especially when you need to fight for a very long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That Imperius gonna be taken away. He's incredible on the solo lane right now. If you know how to hit your spears, then somebody just pop. Excuse me, Lily is speaking to me. I need to let her out.
Lily wants to get drafted, but unfortunately, we don't really want to go on an adventure, so that's just not going to be the case for them. But I agree. No, Imperius is really, really strong in the 1v1 so long as you're landing your skill shots and you're building within that regeneration globe, as we were actually talking about that yesterday during the games we were playing all together. And Greymane will be banned out as they don't want to deal with any sort of dive from that. So there's a lot of things still up and available. Garrosh, we still have ETC. Mei is banned out until the season 10 of NGS, so we won't see any Mei. Actually, you know what? I said Mal'Ganis, and I just realized Mal'Ganis is banned out for a little bit of the playoffs as well. Or no, wait, is he back in?
I think the 28th, which would be yesterday.
Yeah, so I think Mal'Ganis is back. Yeah, I think he's available now. So we will be seeing a Tassadar, though. I mean, poke value, I really actually like the Tassadar. It's just a strong hero as of late, but they're gonna lock that Raynor immediately, Jinxie.
Raynor is a really, really great poke hero also. Johanna, really strong, just top of the tier tank right now. I mean, you never have a Johanna on your team, and you're like, well, I wish we didn't have her.
It's just, oh man, an immovable force. Like, why would I not like? Yeah, no, she's just strong, good grouping within the minion waves as you're rotating as well. Raynor has good sustained damage and maybe a little bit of knockback if they do try and step into them. Ana was already banned out. ETC will be grabbed here. I'm trying to think of like what's going to be synergized, and then there's going to be the Raker. I was like, we could either go Decker, but then I was like, but Bloodlust. Bloodlust is so strong as of late, Jinxie, and they're building towards that.
I mean, Bloodlust, it kind of is just turned into the press R and win heroic. So from Quarantine Qappas, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Stukov or a Deckard Cain come out, or even one of them banned right here, because it's a really good counter to it. Just stay a while and listen so the team can back out and re-engage while that Bloodlust is going out. Or you can Flailing Swipes, which makes it really hard for the team to get it, unless, say, you had like a Zero Tool or something. We are going to see that Sylvana's banned away, who just dominates on this map with those black arrows. You get the Protector, you get the Sylve, and then you lose your fort.
She can just be an unstoppable force, and especially on a map that you can really gain some momentum on. I like the stay a while and listen quite a bit, actually. I think that might be a good kind of like stop to a lot of these situations. Hyperion might anti-synergize is the only thing. And I was going to cheat here and say, you know, white main would have been strong, but chat was already calling out. Dax is already in here saying, you know what, we're going to see Shredded's white main, and there it will be. But there is going to be the Mephisto, which I was actually really, really rooting for here. I think that synergizes well with their composition, because Mephisto can get hit with the Zeal. They can then, you know, shade a Mephisto in. They can get a little bit of healing from white main, who might have some Giggle Beam or Inquisition on someone else. So there's a lot of good options with that right there, but the last 2 picks coming out, I think they need something synergistic with the Rhaegar, as well as a strong solo lane. I like the Leoric overall, but they're actually going to go for Yrel for control and Vala for auto attacks. I actually really like that. We haven't seen a lot of Vala, but with the Rhaegar, I think we might see more of a resurgence of this Vala. She's just strong, yeah.
She's in a really interesting spot right now, because definitely when you see one, they either go one of 2 ways. They carry super hard and you're like, all right, I'm gonna play Vala every single game. Or if you're like me, who I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play Vala every single game, you just get absolutely bodied because she does have less health than Tracer currently, I believe. So hopefully we'll see really strong Vala with that Bloodlust, like you said. She can just dominate. The Deathwing coming out here, what do you think about that?
It's not something they really drafted for, and I don't know if there's really anything in their kits to deal with it. I don't know, does Vala have like a Giant Slayer type talent, or Giant Killer? I'm trying to remember, like I can't remember if she does.
On 13 or 16 is I think that does percent damage, and then Yrel has the percent hammer. That means you're using your only CC ability on Deathwing, who is permanently unstoppable. So
I don't know,
we'll
like,
have to see how they can do.
I think this Deathwing was a real sly pickup to be able to slide that in and be like, all right, cool, what are you gonna do about this? And it's just like, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'll be honest, I really like Quarantine Qappas' draft, but if we're looking at this game purely by the numbers, we take these as a stronger team overall, and this Bloodlust might be like, I'm thinking like Death Dealer Vala here. Like, I think this is going to be late game burst, but the early game might be controlled by the members of Quarantine Qappas. Let's go ahead and get on into it. On the left hand side, we're going to be having the members of We Take These. We'll be having Mason Blaze on the Rhaegar, Tremor's going to be on the ETC, Zanaris will be on that Yrel, Infred on the Vala, and we have Roger on the Tassadar.
And over here on the right-hand side, we got Dudabides rocking that Johanna Shredded win on that famed white main. Chaotic is going to be your Rainer, Lupus on that Mephisto, and Joe will be, or Jay, excuse me, that Deathwing.
Well, we'll go ahead and get into mid lane, check out our level 1s, and see what our first engagement looks like, as ETC has gone into Block Party, looking to maybe reduce some of the damage Rainer's able to put into the enemy, into their team, because Block Party does not only give you stacks, but gives stacks to your friendly members around you. So that's going to be a very, very big tool, especially in some of these sustained fights, as they're just going to be poking back and forth at each other. Let's start right now, and Shredded Wen just looking before they step in too far into this enemy team, just to get some healing out, as well as Lupus is going to dive in. Deathwing is going to get a lot of damage out, but they don't find a kill, and Jinxie a little Giggle Beam, and I think we're going to be splitting off into lanes.
We'll see probably that standard rotation come out, top mid. So it's always interesting to see what the solo lane is up to. Great stun there by Deathwing, but up in the top, we're having a little bit of a skirmish. Just gonna go ahead and clear and back out. Nobody really wants to fight yet, I don't believe.
And this is typical of our large rotation maps, or our heavy rotation maps, where yeah, you're gonna wave clear, you're gonna poke at each other. Roger's gonna be focusing on trying to finish out that static charge as quickly as possible, or at least building that up. So we're gonna be seeing them trying to throw those Qs or those shock rays out as much as they can. Meanwhile, after that rotation happened, both these teams are gonna grab the fortification camps for a little extra pressure during the first objective phase. But the other factor of getting this so early is so that way teams have something, they can rotate back to this camp during the first objective phase, grab another fortification camp, and have an extra turret to be able to push back the enemy team, as it's a little bit of back and forth as they get back into lane, but no one gonna go down, and still Tassadar building stacks.
Johanna being really good wave clear here, but Tassadar is just so much faster. I had to take a look at those stacks right now. Already at 25, not bad for the first minute and a half of the game. Gonna see Johanna getting poked out a little bit out here. Dude, bye bites though. Gonna get that tickle and head back in. No problems at all.
No, just Shockray once again. ETC grabbing Regeneration Globe, anchoring for the friendly team in the front line as Do It Abide does the same. There's gonna be a Hungering Arrow chasing out. Electric Fence for the Tassadar at level 4. I really like the Electric Fence just because it gives you... opportunities to really chase the enemy team because you have damage over time, but you also have, I believe, a 35% slow on that, and most people will run along the force wall to get away from it. They don't back off and then run around it, if that makes any sense. Like, they're typically running along it, so you're going to get that damage over time, plus you have that 35% slow, which then something like Vala or even maybe ETC can capitalize off of, so we'll see if that will be a factor as we get into control point A. But that being announced right now, we got 30 seconds, and camps being grabbed on the left and the right-hand side.
Who can go ahead and clear these out really quickly. Chaotic's going to be a little bit behind there, but nothing Raynor can't clear up as that inspiration comes out. Not capping it yet. Maybe looking to clear out that camp. Rhaegar's holding it as well. Look, and now we're just in kind of one of those weird camp games of chicken. Both teams having really strong wave clear.
It's just both of them are waiting. Yeah, they're just like, you, me, you, me. Rhaegar's going in for it, though. So they will cap it first, but they're going to get onto point first as well. No control. Actually, no, they do have control. Deathwing going to be landing and stalling things out for a couple seconds, but they're landing on top of a couple players. They need to back off as they don't want to get shredded. Daenerys rotates up, and now control looks like it's going over to the side of we take these. But I'm not counting Quarantine Qappas out just yet, Jinxie.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, one of the things we see that's so common here on the map is to go ahead and get as much soak as you can, hit level 7, and then come back for the second half. So one team might get the early 50%, but that's no big deal at all. They'll just come in, take the team fight, and then try to grab their own. So we might see 2 or 3 team fights before anybody grabs this very first control point.
And just to catch anyone up, if they don't see it, 45 stacks on that Tassadar level 1 shock, or excuse me, static charge. So they've got a ways to go. That builds up to 250 if I'm not mistaken, as Deathwing is going to get a little bit of push around. Looks like they're going to lunge for... No, they're actually going to go for the Molten Flame. There's a Force Wall from Tassadar. Dudabide's trying to back off right now. Vala going to throw a lot of damage out, but they don't find a kill on either side just yet. Roger very low. Deathwing going to use the Cataclysm, puts him on the far side of this engagement, but I think we have a little bit of a lull right now in this fight as people tap well and get towards those fortification camps as we talked about beforehand.
And just like you said, yeah, pick up that turret, come back, and the 99%, this gives Quarantine Qappas a chance to come in, maybe harass. As they're on this camp, nice electric fence coming out there, preventing Jay from getting in. However, Tassadar is going to go down. Tremor is incredibly low, as is Mace and Blaze. And this should be an easy couple of percentages here for Quarantine Qappas. The team is really, really low. And now down a player. It's going to be really hard to come in and try and get that last percentage.
While they're waiting for their Tassadar to come back, and Fred's is going to go ahead and get a little bit of free siege in top lane. If they're able to get this Trigla Protector, that's a huge win for them, because now they can go for that well a little bit faster. I'm looking at Daenerys. I thought they might be invading onto that camp, but no, they didn't go for it in the end. And this is everyone back up. Mephisto rotating in, Tassadar rotating in, and let's see what happens here, Jinxie.
Deathwing in a terrible position right now. He's only got 20 armor plates. They're going to go ahead and go in. Daenerys looking very low, has to jump out with that Avenging Wrath. Tremor looking around, trying to protect. And 3 turrets, 2 turrets now. Deathwing jumping back up in the sky, regenerate those armor plates. Do we see the final push here? Tremor's jumping back in, clear out the turret. Nice and easy. Mephisto coming in with that charge. And now 99 and 99. This is anyone's protector.
I was going to say, Deathwing took flight a little bit ago, and they have to wait, I believe, 8 seconds before they can land again. So they had some time. Deathwing is going to also use the Cataclysm to get over here. That's going to be damage over time on the ground as Tremor's going to power slide away. That also provides a little bit of armor for those friendly members as we do have that block party from level 1. Jay taking a lot of damage, ends up going down. That's going to be a kill in favor for the members of We Take These, as they're going to take a second kill. They're going to find a third, and Shredded Wind will not get power slid on, but Daenerys wants it. They're going to go for it, and they find it. But do they end up getting picked off? They jump over the wall, and they get the heal in time. Jinxie, I can't believe it.
Incredible play by Daenerys and Mason Blaze, knowing exactly what needed to be done. Just the trust between the teammates. I would not be bold enough to make that play myself. It was
massive. That was big brain. Very big brain.
That was so cool. Really nicely done. They're gonna take this protector top, as is standard, try and get these camps down and light, or these walls. And like you said, they'll have early pressure from earlier on this game, so that well is not long for this world. Protector sitting at about 50% half. Shredded Wind doing a little bit of damage best they can. Chaotic also spamming on. Protector still has 10 armor. And always drop off your ranged assassins safely. They're gonna go ahead and back out. They're getting exactly what they came to grab.
So you just don't want to drop off your ranged assassin in the middle of the highway. You want to maybe like make it to the schoolyard where they're safe or something like that. So yeah, absolutely agree. They were limited on time on that Trigla Protector, so they didn't want to have it burned down or use up all the time, and then it kind of drops in front of their front gate and they lose their Tassadar. Yrel does have a little bit of control, but it's not like Tassadar has dimensional shift anymore to be able to get away from them. Heroics are across the board, pretty much standards we can expect. We do have the Burn Beneath My Shadow for Deathwing, so no Bellowing Roar to push people back. Actually, you know what? I lied. I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong obs. I'm looking at the wrong thing in the obs. They actually still are holding their Heroic. It's just showing the Cataclysm cooldown in the top bar. So we don't know what they have for Heroic on that Deathwing. They are holding, but pretty much standards outside of, actually, I would say, no Rain of Vengeance for Vala. We do see the, as I like to say, spinny shooty shot, or the strafe.
With Vala, they're being a little bit, I was going to say they were a little light on damage, but they have Tassadar, who we all know does an insane amount of damage, just all the way from Narnia. Does have to root himself to get that big damage out. But the strafe will just add a little bit more poke and a little bit more pressure to those points being so condensed. So I can definitely understand the strafe pickup here. Looking at Heal Pulse right now.
Ooh.
Argon is popped out. Tremor going down. The Heal Pulse is picked up by Quarantine Qappas. Jay jumping onto Vala, doing the best they can. Vala's able to get away, but that Heal Pulse is safely in the pocket. Adieu to buy. It's a...
Very well played. That was such a, it was just like, who's gonna take this? Like, EGC power slid in, and I was like, where's the angle for the mosh pit? And I think it was just, oh, we're just gonna disrupt things, and then they disrupted a little too long as they got that. Like, that was honestly such a good Durance of Hate out from the Mephisto, but we actually are gonna get a little bit of a pause here, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on back to you and I. And let's figure out what this pause is all about, as it looks like we had someone leave the game. So they'll be back here in just a second.
Roger!
Always shame them on stream. You always have to remind the players, hey, you know what? You're on our time. No, DC issues happen, so we'll get them back into the game in just a little bit here. But we are post 10s. We're nearing 13s on both sides evenly. Quarantine Qappas slightly behind that 13. Structures are a little in favor for the members of We Take These. Do you think that there's any sort of late game power spike on either side that's really going to be a big factor that might shift this in one way or the other? Or do you think We Take These will slowly take this?
Well, I'm looking at the Mephisto build, and he's got that spite at level 4. So that means come later on, once he gets better talent at the 16 or 13, 16, and then of course 20 will be able to spam that Durance of Hate over and over again with those really strong, squiggles dives. So I think we'll see coming later on that Mephisto will really stack, especially like I was alluding to that spite. You just constantly have that alt up, and I mean, it doesn't feel so bad in the early game, but as he gets more stacked and the death timers get longer and longer, you'll have to watch out for those Durances, and having him up every 30 seconds will be really, really disgusting. So that's my prediction, that come 16, Mephisto will just spam those ults, and getting back in will be so hard before We Take These.
Well, during your explanation, we got a gigantic bandit treat, so we gave that to them. So he's got that.
Very nice.
Go ahead, bud. It's all yours. It's all yours. And unfortunately, on that exact same note, looks like we have the readies coming out. So if you wouldn't mind counting them down and getting us back in, Jinxie, let's get into this game.
Sure thing. Alrighty, I always do this wrong, and then we want pause break. There we go. I did it.
Alrighty, we are back into game, as we do have Roger back in here, and it's 13 to 12 in levels. I did want to note one specific thing during our little pause right there. Tassadar had 69 seconds left on Archon form, so just a little nice factor for everyone in chat if they were wondering. But Jay's gonna rotate back into bottom lane. It's gonna be 13s up on both sides, and we'll be seeing what happens with this control point B. That will be coming up in a bit, so I think we should have some brawling beforehand here, Jinxie Cat.
Yeah, if we look down in the bottom, 4 members harassing that bottom fort. Deathwing doing the best they can to sing them back, but it doesn't look like he's going to do too terribly well. And actually jumping in the middle, gets that Bellowing Roar out. Here's a couple of members off. The fort sitting at 50% health, now 25. The best thing he can do is try not to lose those armor plates. They are so critical to making sure he can stay in these long, drawn-out fights.
Seems like we're going to be trading out Fort for Yrel, but top lane now has their fort being sieged in, so maybe... Yeah, this is not so much a trade for We Take These favor, because they're going to have no fort, no well, and no retreat path in top lane. Because at this point, like, if I'm on the side of we take these and I need to back out of this fight, I have to rotate to mid lane or I have to rotate to my keep in top lane. Whereas on the opposing side, it's an easy just, hey, we back off, we have our fort. And for anyone that is wondering, the gate, the 2 towers on the gate for the keeps and the forts, those no longer reduce your armor, no longer also aggro onto heroes when you're diving underneath them. The only time that actually works, or the way it was like carried over from the previous anomalies, is it reduces your armor by 10 to -20 from forts and keeps only, and the aggro still is that same. So you diving underneath the forts and keeps is a little more punishable, but diving in front of the front gates is not as bad. Roger gonna get dropped down by this Deathwing, but the fight seems to be breaking out here, Jinxie.
Now we're gonna see Tremor go in, trying to harass Jay as much as they can. Roger jumping in, using that Tassadar auto to give him a little tickle. Deathwing doesn't mind so much. Koi Pond is dropped there. And Quarantine Qappas has a really solid hold on this, but here comes Ginaris, that crazy Urel jumping in. A hammer comes out comes Cataclysm. Bloodlust was popped. Jay losing 2 health plates right there. Out comes the Archon. ETC drops the mosh pit. 2 members go down on the side of Quarantine Qappas. Due to bites is going to be the next to fall. Jay running for his life, but Urel on him as tight as he can be. He does fall underneath that tower, and despite having the fort there, we take these 4 for nothing. They get the protector and the fort, and now this keep is in some serious trouble.
We take these not only lives up to their name, but plays that exact, like I've casted we take these a couple times, and like there's some times when it's just like, I don't think they can take these, and boy, am I proved wrong. And I actually was thinking that might go over to the opposing side, which is how that was starting to go for them. But like, I'll actually say it's Bellowing Roar and Endurance of Hate anti-synergized. Bellowing Roar went out, and that actually forced them to not miss, but the Endurance of Hate didn't connect on the target because of the push away from Bellowing Roar. So it was just a little uncalculated, a little anti-synergistic, but the members of We Take These going to take the second Triglav Protector. They're going to take a fort in top, mid, and they're going to take the keep in top as well, which now they've got consistent catapult pressure through top lane that makes Control Point C so much more threatening, because now we have this ticking time bomb for the rest of the game through top lane, whereas they only have a fort down up there. But Jinxie gonna push in with this Triglav. Do they go for a little bit more?
They've still got 50% on it, and with Deathwing coming out, that seals the deal. Don't know if they'll be able to get the camp here, and they take the fourth. Looks like they're having a little bit of discussion whether or not they're going to take it. They're going to jump on in, at least do a little bit of damage. Once again, Urel and Tassadar in the key, or in the protector. It drops out. Keep at only like 20% health. ETC coming in, but out comes that Blessed Shield. Endurance of Hate being hit. Bloodlust is dropped. ETC gonna fall down there. Zanaris jumping in the back. Johanna gonna be the next to fall. And Urel looking to maybe go back in. Come on, you can only dive under so many keeps, Zanaris. 1 for 2.
I gotta point out, we were talking about this in draft, we were talking about Manticore and all of that, yeah, and of course, Manticore, yes, 16, good, awesome, 5%. I forgot about Thermal Lance at 16 for Tassadar, which is 8% of their maximum health, so yeah, I saw Deathwing's bar just get shredded, and honest to God, at level 16, Tassadar has such an insane power spike, but I also believe that they used Oracle on top of all of that. No, excuse me, Oracle just gives spell armor. I thought Oracle was giving spell power as well, so I was just like, dear lord, they were just stacking. But they did have the Argle Bargle, as they say, which is going to be that Bloodlust, and that really just shreds into these players so very well. But Joanna will be back up in a second. Mason Blaze looking for a fight, as they do not have the Earth Grasp Totem, but I think they might be trying to find a kill onto Jay. We'll see what happens here, Jinxie.
Oh man, this poor Deathwing having the Cataclysm out, and look at that 75% of the health being taken away immediately. He can't go back to the core and heal, and Deathwing just dropped down. They have to tap that well before going back out. Now they're probably gonna have to wait another couple of seconds before they can jump up. 10 armor left, and that's the biggest thing, is getting down these armor plates, because they don't restack as the way the health does. So you can heal up to full, but you only have 10 armor. Deathwing's health isn't what it used to be, so he's gonna be very careful for this Control Point C.
And we can actually see exactly what you're talking about. They have that one plate, but they've got a full bar of health. What is it? Their bar of health is 5,575. So anyone in chat want to freely do that 8% math, we can figure out exactly how much Tassadar is just doing just from the level 16 talent here. Anyways, 19 is going to be up to that 18, 10 to 5 in kills, and we're just kind of cycling around the map right now, Jinxie, waiting to see what the fight looks like as Deathwing takes off, and I think they just turtle up, expecting to defend against level 20.
They're just going to try and clear right now. We take these as sitting in a really solid spot where they're almost level 20, and that is the key thing that a lot of players don't remember is if you can take that fight at level 20 versus, 19 and a quarter, then you'll have a significant lead over your opponent. And so that's why most teams just want to hang back, try to get that 20, pick up any camp that's available, but they will even give things like camps and objectives not to fight at 20 because the difference is night and day having that Palantir advantage.
Sorry, I looked up at chat and someone said 6969 for the Deathwing damage, and I was just like, all right, thank you. All right, chat over here with just the meme. So thank you very much. 20 to 19 though, we do have them stepping in. Control point C is up and available, but I don't know if Tremor and friends really care about that. They seem to be wanting to push in and potentially end. If they can find a fight here, Jinxie, that'll be massive for them. But seems like that's a waiting game, and they're not going to wait too much for that as they just go for the camp, and they probably back off and go for Control point C.
Dax coming in with the lightning math here, 446 just from that level 16 alone. So that's pretty solid damage. We can see that turret get snatched up, and it looks like we take these. Is finally going to go ahead, step on that point, get a little bit of percentage here. And right now, it's on Quarantine Qappas to make the play. We take these are sitting so good right now. They're like, yeah, come on, engage on us. You won't. You don't have 20. Sit back in your base and clear, nerds.
And that's what they're doing. I mean, you saw Raynor in top lane. They're going to grab this, but I think that was a little telegraphed. ETC could come up here and do some displacement, but no, I think they're just gonna kind of anchor. They're gonna see if they can maybe catch them in the rotation. Tassadar just got 1 foot on the control point, but look at this map. It's just constantly being pushed in onto the right hand side. 20's up on both, so they're gonna take a fight. This is the fight that they gotta take.
Gotta take it right now, and they gotta take it quickly. We have 2 catapults stacking up down here in the bottom lane. Team was able to pick up the heal pulse, so that will help them a little bit. They've got 2 items to the 4 of we take these. Yikes, here comes Mephisto with that level 20. Out comes Bloodlust, out comes that Archon, and Tremor just getting absolutely melted. Shade coming out, hitting Urel, who is able to use that Seraphim. Rigor being cleared away. Jay in the back. Heal pulse has been dropped. Raynor is going to be the first call, followed by Mephisto. Whitemane is next, and this looks like the end of the game. Bahamut, 5 members of Quarantine Qappas taken out. Protector on the way. Mason Blaze bringing the car. GG's being called. That is going to be game number 1, it looks like.
A very well played game. We take these with a lot of momentum. I don't know, this core defense mechanism though, Jinxie, I don't know if they can really end here, but the catapults are currently slapping for 285, 300, and the core is rapidly falling. So yes, this will be game number 1 going over to We Take These in our heroic playoff matchup. GG, well played.
Nicely done by both teams. I mean, there were a couple of times where I really thought Quarantine Qappas were going to bring it back. Those Durances by Lupus were really solid. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. The percentage damage on 3 members of We Take These was just a little bit too much for Deathwing and ETC. Or excuse me, Deathwing and Johanna.
Just looking at some of the stats. I don't think there's anything that was like massively bad. I just think they got shut down, especially post like 16. Like Vala's damage skyrocketed post 16. I mean, 56,716 on that, and Tassadar roughly 10k behind, 9k, however you want to do the math on that. And it's just wild. Like, out of the 4 top damagers, that's gonna be 3 on the side of We Take These. Like, I don't know. It's just it's wild to me how strong that they were, and almost like they kind of didn't have the early game. It seemed like that they were actually getting a couple kills. The momentum was building in favor for the side of Quarantine Qappas, but in the end, it wasn't it. It wasn't enough. Like, Bellow and Gore, I think anti-synergized a little too much as well.
Can definitely see that. Another thing that came out which could have been a problem is Zinara's on that. Urel was so just in the Whitemane's face, and she likes to step up and kind of harass the front line. When their front line's in your back line, like, there's not a whole lot you can do, and I think that was the problem, is she had to focus on healing herself, healing the Raynor, and then that kind of left Deathwing and Johanna to just fend for themselves once we hit that percentage damage. As you saw, like, they were there, and then they weren't.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where they existed, then, well, not so much. But we are currently getting set up for our next map. We have the lobby coming in, so We'll just get everyone in here. Let me pull you in as well, and then we'll find out what happens. We'll let you know what this lobby is going to look like in just a second. I'm trying to see. Can I do a quick little? Let's do a little monitor capture so that way we can show everyone. This isn't going to look as clean. But what I want to show at least everybody is what our bracket looks like for the Heroic Division. I believe shout out to DB Smiley who made this, if I'm not mistaken. So we are currently up here in the upper bracket. We Take These versus Quarantine Qappas. The other matches that, they're not happening tonight, but these are the other matches to look forward to. Quarantine versus Regen. You're going to be having CPogX Fan Club versus Choking Hazards, and Press Forward versus Anti-Clan Association. Me personally, I would say that Quarantine versus Regen game is going to be one of the best because it's just going to be such a tight and close game between those two teams. But I think we're gonna get ready and get going into Tomb here in just a second. Let me just go ahead and make sure that they know that casters are Spooky Worm, and we'll give them a Twitch link, and we'll just wait until we get into this. So thanks all for hanging out. Thanks for cheering on this. If you'd like to follow the lovely co-caster that's joined us this evening, you can follow her on Twitter or her Twitch page. !co-caster will give you the links for those specifically, or you can search them by entering in Jinxie Cat. But with my rambling aside and me forgetting to update the team scores, as I'm a good caster, let's go ahead and get on into game number 2 here. We find ourselves on Tomb of the Spider Queen as we are here in our playoff matchup, and let's quickly catch you all up on what happened and how we got here. Home team this evening, as they are the higher seeded team, is going to be We Take These. Oh, what happened? Oh, did Lobby go again?
We lost Roger. And the only reason I bag on him so much is every time I cast We Take These, they're like, sorry, Roger's internet is potatoes. Like he's playing on a toaster right now.
Sometimes you just gotta get a new toaster. Sometimes you gotta get new potatoes from the field. I get it. I absolutely get it.
The hamster gets tired. It happens.
But we're back in it. You can all hear that. Let's actually let you all know that the Braxis Sold Out Sky Temple were banned up by the members of We Take These. Infernal Shrines Towers of Doom banned up by Quarantine Qappas. First map was Volskaya Foundry, chosen by Quarantine Qappas. They lost that. Losing team can either choose first pick or map pick. They chose first pick, so map choice goes over to We Take These as they have decided to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's get back on into our draft and find out what we actually get now as we are perfectly back here. No issues were had as we're on Tomb. Do you think we see Joanna? Do you think that they ban it out? Because I think she's just insanely strong on a map like this.
I was gonna say I think the bans are gonna change here. We have gotten to the point where it's less about denying bans, you know, for those favored picks, and more about what's good on the map. And like you said, Johanna is just insane. So I don't think we'll see her today. So that brings in ETC once again. We could see with that Echo Pedal, so very strong here. Mal'Ganis has pretty good wave clear, and the teams are feeling really spicy. My personal favorite, Tank Zool. But ETC is going to be banned out, so we won't see that either.
Psycho, thank you for the raid. As we get into game number 2 on Tomb, ETC banned out. You know what I want to see here, Jinxie?
What would you like to see, Baha?
Nazebo. I doubt we get it, but like I actually like Tomb of Spider Queen is such a long map. Like I actually think you can get a lot of value from Nazebo, and you can build around zombie wall. Like I don't know. Like I think like as like you can always argue. It's always the argument. Like but X and Y heroes do it better. And yes, I agree. But like give us some memes. Like I understand that these are the top teams, but like they should be able to meme and win, right? Right?
I mean, it's not memes. It's galaxy level plays. Like
that's it. Yes.
You're just innovating draft. So, you know, I would love to see it in Nazebo. I think he's really strong, especially with the tower changes, even though they aren't as strong as they were when they were first released. We still see really, really strong games, or really long games coming out strong. Saw that big, thick Garros. They're going to be banned away. And I think this is a Quarantine Qappas tank lock. They do have first pick, so they know unless we take these bans, Johanna right here, they'll be able to pick it up.
I like the Joanna ban. Anna's still up and available. Savannah's still up and available. For anyone that's wondering, May is banned out for the entirety of NGS. Crushing Air, thank you for the 300 bits, asking for Nazebo. I want it too, but there's a Joanna ban, as I don't disagree with this whatsoever. Like, Tomb is one of her best maps because of the ability to condemn and then wave clear very quickly and get between lanes. Like, that's why me personally, when I play Asmodan, like, I'm like, please let me get a Joanna, because that just makes my life insanely easier. Because basically it's like a condemn, a subdue, and a dunk is enough for a wave clear pretty much. And they're gonna go for the first pick Tassadar. Do they try and deny the Rhaegar? early, do you think? Do they try and like grab Rhaegar and then like maybe a strong tank here?
Really strong pickup. I don't know if we'll see tank and support first and foremost, but it's always so hard to say because that Rhaegar is really strong. We saw how impactful it was in that last game. I could see it going either way, honestly.
Ooh.
And we're going to see the Ana come out. Very strong pick. And the Rainer. Nobody feels bad having a Rainer on their team. That excellent poke from so far away does wonders.
So this has to be, in my opinion, Rhaegar if they're going for like the TAS Bloodlust sort of dealio, which I think is just strong. Like you could nano boost Tassadar too. But I think we Rhaegar and then maybe even like Muradin. A Nubrak wouldn't actually be bad. Oh, but they're gonna grab Stabby Daddy.
In that sick new skin too. You love to see it. And Bloodlust Imperious. It feels so bad. It feels so bad for the enemy. I know my team likes to run it a lot, and then it's just dead. He gets so much healing back from consuming those marks. I really love Tassadar Rhaegar Imperious.
I think this
and
is
it just abides. It might be a main tank Imperious.
That's possible. Greymane will be removed as that just synergizes so well with the Bloodlust composition as well. Auto attacks. I mean, Worgen form. Yeah, you hargle bargle another doggo. That's going to be absolutely perfect. But side note really quickly, for anyone, even in chat, for the new Imperious skin, where he's sitting on the stool, has anyone actually readied up in like a quick match with that skin? Because one of my friends did, and it's the best thing ever because instead of like, I don't know, just standing up, he kicks the chair backwards as standing up, and it's just so aggressive and imperious. I just love it very much. Anyways, just if anyone in chat's like, I haven't seen what that animation looks like, do it. Just literally like put the skin on, hit the ready button, and just giggle and then cancel because you probably don't want to play a game. You got to watch these games. But Falstad, the Birdman, I am going to be flying on into this game with a Blaze coming in as well. I wonder if they're going to say, you know what, Bloodlust can come out, but maybe we can just shut it down. Maybe we can jet propulsion in. Maybe we can burst them down with some Falstad damage. Or maybe they're just going to control this and say, all right, Blaze might be a sacrifice, use them for a jet propulsion AoE stun while everyone leaves, or it's a gust. So maybe they're seeing this and they're like, we're going to be a disengage composition. Maybe they also build into bunker just to kind of outlast some of the Bloodlust value. That's what I've been seeing some teams go into, where it's just like, let's just wait out the Bloodlust and then we'll win the game. But this is, I think you called it, this is a main tank Imperious, Phoenix coming in as well, and we'll have a Rexar for the solo lane. Thick Misha Bear for that bottom lane. What do we get for our last pick, though? Is this main tank Blaze, or is this going to be solo into Rexar?
I wouldn't hate to see a Thrall come out here with that Earthquake. It just shuts down that Bloodlust even more because while they'll still have the attack speed, if they can drop the Earthquake right as Bloodlust comes out, makes the movement speed basically normal walking movement speed, which allows the team to escape at a normal pace. And then, of course, level 20, you would be able to Earth and Shields out, but it is going to be a Leoric, and that works just as well. Just entomb them. Leoric might go down, but that trait means that he'll be right back up, and it's totally okay. You can go ahead and drop the Blaze Stun in there, hit all the members that you get entombed, and then just kill them.
I'll be honest, I really like Quarantine Qappas draft. I think they can take us to a game 3 with this.
I have to agree, it's so good.
If they don't, I think here's the big thing. Like if I'm looking at the opposing side, if I'm on the side of we take these, I think they have to play this very, very smart and kind of pick them apart. They can't play into the team fight. Pre-10, maybe that's exactly what they do. They play into the team fight very, very early, and they play aggressive and try and get a bit of a experience advantage and maybe try and use levels against them in these team fights. But I think they're gonna have to pick them apart and really, really choose when they're going to be going for these team fights, because if they don't, I think they're going to be stepping into a whole lot of pain. But we'll have to see what happens here, Jinxie, because we are in game number 2 here. We find ourselves on Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left-hand side, we got the members of We Take These up 1 in our best of 3 series. We got Tremor on the Blaze, Roger's going to be on that Rainer, Xenaris is going to be on the Leoric, Infrared on the Birdman Falstad, and Mason Blaze on that Ana.
And over here on the right-hand side, we got Lupus on that Tassadar. Jay is going to be your Phoenix. Dude Abides rocking that sick Imperious skin. Chaotic is your
I moved off of it.
Rexar, no worries. And Shredded Wind is your doggo friend Rhaegar. This is Quarantine Qappas. But yeah, no, show him that skin. It's so cool.
Hold on, let's see this. Well, he's invisible now, so we can't see him, but there you go, you can see. It's just such a good looking skin overall. Like, hats off to whoever made that skin, because it's what we needed in our day in life now.
All we need to do is combine it with a pumped up Pato.
Yes, yes. That needs to be everyone's mount. I don't care what you say, it needs to be everyone's mount. Xenaros, I'm just looking down here. Okay, now they're not going to be chasing it anything, as that's going to be a jet propulsion from the Blaze on the Misha. That's going to be a Lance, excuse me, the Celestial Charge from Dude Abides, and they find first blood on the side of Quarantine Qappas.
Really nicely done by Dude Abides there. They had that fog to prevent them from, ooh, nice sleep, saves them from getting charged there. They had the fog, nobody knew where Imperious was. He got that follow-up stun off of the Blaze jet propulsion, and level 1 Blaze isn't so tanky.
No, they got to work their way up on that one, but they will be into new habits at level 1, so with a double soak map like this and them being in the core 4, they should be able to burn through those 15 stacks fairly quickly. They also do get a cooldown reduction on their Pyromania from those regeneration globes, I believe, consistently throughout the game, so yeah, it's an 8-second cooldown from regeneration globes, and if you're doing a lot of double soaking, that's great for your base ability, so you can at least use that a little more often. We Take These, though, is going to have a very quick rotation to hard camp. I'm surprised by this.
They're just going to go ahead and clear it. They'll have that spell armor so they can push out and maybe not have to worry so much about the Talos Imperious combo, because that is so strong from level 1. So they'll have that nice spell armor, be able to protect themselves. Imperious and Rex are in the top lane cleaning, actually. Loop is going to head down to that bottom lane. And Phoenix staying nice and safe, clearing the camp with Rhaegar there. Bit of
an odd rotational change right now, but it makes sense because they were just like, you know what, how can we manage our lanes best? And this is exactly a little double soaking from that Rexar. We still had the Tassadar in bottom lane, as that's going to be the Misha trying to get out. Will actually survive for now. Jet propulsion from Blaze is going to get a little bit of damage in there. Dude Abides very, well, getting lower, but not actually that low. There is going to be that spell armor for both these sides, as you can see that blue circle and that kind of orangish circle and that little 20 next to some of the players' names. Well, as long as that mage is up, it will provide some of that spell armor. Jay is going to check on this siege camp, and we'll see it. You see some assistant pings coming down here as Infrared's down as well. This is going to be Seasoned Marksman Falstead as well, so they're going to be building those autos, so getting kills is a big advantage, as Blaze once again gets picked off in mid lane.
The Imperious, you really have to respect it. He can come out, and then the follow-up from the Rexar just makes it even more deadly. Snaris and Falstad, there we go once again. Dude Abides, calm down. They will chunk out that Leo, and they're going to turn their sights on these siege camp. Not going to get a whole lot of value down here in the bottom, but the big thing is it denies it from Quarantine Qappas.
Yeah, I just saw the question in chat, and I know someone answered it, but for anyone that might be wondering in chat, Mei is globally banned for the rest of NGS season number 9, so you will not see Mei until, excuse me, until season 10 of NGS, or probably before that, any sort of shenanigans that they run, so I don't know if they're doing any in-between season stuff, but the first thing that I can think of is probably the Nexus Combine. It'll be the next time we see Mei for NGS, is my guess.
Gives everybody a chance to practice her, figure out some good counters, and we were just talking about this yesterday. She's so strong right now. Just range Johanna.
I was just complaining on my stream when I had an Infernal Shrines game, and I was just like, this isn't fun. I don't like this. This is just crazy. But Roger's feeling the exact same way. As the Force Wall comes out, they're gonna get bodied right there, and Raynor going down. And you know, we were talking about maybe playing into this team before level 10, but that doesn't even seem like it's an option. This single target pick that they're getting with the Tassadar and the Imperious, with just the Celestial Charge and the Shock Ray, is enough to really body into some of these players, and they find themselves a little bit ahead in experience. I'd actually say near a solid level lead, as they do have that 7 talent here, but turn availability will be for both sides. That will be first turn, though, on the side of Quarantine Qappas.
I was hoping to see maybe a little bit more Falstad ganks, but the rotations of Quarantine Qappas have just been so clean. Anytime Falstad flies up, trying to maybe look for someone alone, there's someone in a bush, or there's someone right behind him, or somebody's actually just invisible sitting in lane. So it's been very difficult for We Take These to try and get a whole lot done with their comp. It's just Quarantine Qappas is on top of it. As we say that, Falstad goes down, stayed a little too long, and got bopped.
Yeah, they're going to be picked off, and that will also be that solid level lead increasing. They're going to get the fort in top lane. This is a big advantage. Being able to take down the front gate, maybe even the fort in top lane, means that you can maybe get the boss a little bit later and also get the turn on top of that. And this is what I've seen a lot of teams end through. Just because Tomb of Spider Queen is such a short map, you really have to get a big wave to come in with you. And speaking of, they're going to be able to throw that purple death wave out from the Web Weaver, and I think this will be the fort going down. Falsight clears mid, Leoric managing bottom, Tremor taking a lot of damage, does jet propulsion out. Misha gets picked off. A little bit of experience for them on the side of we take these, but that's the fort still going down, and they don't chase any further. And let's go ahead and cycle through some of those other numbers as we haven't had a chance to look at those. But turn availability is here for the members of We Take These. Will Quarantine Qappas be able to stop it or get another one themselves, as they're only 6 away?
Looks like they're going to go ahead and try and defend that top lane. Phoenix is looking at Leoric there, chasing him away. And it looks like they're just going to try and babysit these turn-ins. Yeah, Xenaris with only about a 1/4% health. Just trying to grab those gems and turn in. The double turn-in feels really oppressive on this map. It's so hard to come back if you fall behind on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It looks like that's exactly what Quarantine Qappas is going to try and exploit here.
Yeah, they just got enough for a turn-in, so they're going to be lingering around those areas. Jay doesn't need to turn in, but they're actually going to invade onto this camp. Unfortunately, a touch too late onto that one, and the reason they're invading is because they wanted to try and get a kill. They have 10 talent here, and then they probably back off and get a turn-in. So they realize, you know what, we don't get the kill, get the turn-in, get some more pressure in our favor, and ooh, a little bit of a race, but they won't be able to do it in time. I think Dude Abides has enough. Oh, wait, no, Blaze. Oh, no, Lupus didn't get hit. Oh, that was so close. That feels rough, but 10's up on both sides.
We are going to actually see the Eye of Horus come out from Ana instead of that Nano, and you know, that kind of makes sense. Everybody's got fairly long cooldowns on the side of We Take These, so Nano may not be the best. We could have seen it maybe on the Falstead, but Falstead is actually season mark, but not even the Hammering build, so it makes sense here. Can definitely see it.
Do you see that middle heroic on that top bar on the right-hand side? Because it's not what I was expecting whatsoever from a Phoenix in this game. I was really expecting a salvo because, you know, you have slows with the Earthgrass Totem and all that kind of stuff, but, and, you know, Boars Unleashed as well, I believe, have a base slow in them as well. But no, that's a Planet Cracker across the map as bunkers drop from the Blaze. Tremor tries to get out. They're going to dive in. Tremor with some 40 health is not able to live. Gust pushes them in, but Ardent, excuse me, that's going to be Angelic Armament. I have Horus is being used, but this is feeling very, very rough for the members of We Take These.
Okay, I seriously was like, I saw the Planet Cracker as you pointed out.
Sometimes it doesn't register though. Like, even like, I'll go 3 levels and be like, yeah, they went Planet Cracker. Okay, no, I didn't believe it when I looked at it, but all right. It's a global, I guess. I don't know.
That's kind of a silly pick. Maybe they misclicked and then the bunker went down and then Tremor went down. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oops. Sorry, Tremor. Good luck next time.
Yeah, chat loves it. We're giving chat what the teams are giving chat what they want, and that's Planet Cracker and memes and potentially a third game. But blue Web Weavers will descend. First one in favor. Celestial Charge connects onto one. Tremor taking a lot of damage. Jepper posted back into the enemy team. Force Wall is going to be going out as well. I don't know if Tremor is going to be able to live through this one. Ana's doing their best to heal up from that far side of the wall. Nice gust from Falstead. I think that might have just come off of cooldown, and they're going to be able to force them away, even though they were about to get the kill onto Tremor, who does finish out the new habits from Blaze on level 1 right there, as they're going to chase in, and that was top lane, well, not was, but top lane going to get cleared out fairly quickly. You might get the front gate right there, but they're going to push into mid here, Jinxie. No 13s on either side, but they get the burst onto Misha and get a little bit of experience for themselves.
Poor Misha just getting blown up right there. And we've actually seen We Take These come back a little bit in levels right now. They're on the race to 13. They should hit them roughly the same amount of time. However, these Web Weavers are going to be a little bit more defensive. Out comes the stun, out comes the Planet Cracker, the Boars, Bloodlust. Tremor running for their lives, do their best to divide suppression of last game. Infrared also getting quite low. Xenaris having to use that race walk to get out. Lupus doing a ton of damage. However, Archon is down, and this was just one of those everybody presses R, nobody dies fights. Bottom fort gonna go down while that fight in mid takes place. So really nicely done by We Take These. Definitely not out of the fight yet.
No, they're gonna find 13s through this top lane. They do have turn availability in their favor. The enemy team needs another 26 gems, if I'm caster mathing that correctly. So with this, oh nice, 69 in the bank. They're going to go for this. Wait, I'm surprised. No interrupt? Nothing? They're just gonna, they have to know. Interesting choice.
A little bit too late there. Maybe it might have been a miscommunication. Someone's like, I got it, then someone else is like, I got it, so nobody went. This is going to be a second Web Weaver turn in for We Take These. And now that they've got themselves kind of equaled out, let's see what they can do with this. They're going to go back and look at that bottom lane. Misha comes out onto Tremor. However, out comes that Entomb. Darnus having to ghost out. Tremor just getting bullied. Has to drop the bunker. Jay jumping in. A nice Celestial Charge by Imperious there. Tremor is going to get out though with just an inkling of help.
So much used, but it was a very defensive retreat, and they lose bunker. It does save them because the armor that they gained from it. Now they're going to try and turn around and chase back into this. This is feeling like such a back and forth game in the sense of just this push and pull in some of these later game team fights. Obviously it is 0-5, but this later game feels a little different. I might be eating my words as they dive in. Tremor is going to get a huge jet propulsion. Gust is going to be coming out as well, and that saves them for now. Imperious going to try and chase in. Hyperion coming out from the Rainer as well. That is going to be Planet Cracker. They do have to sidestep it. They actually they stop the Planet Cracker early because they were getting dove on by Infrared, but still Blaze ends up going down. Another Entomb coming out from the York. Shredded Wind low is kind of blocked in here. Hammering comes out, finds the kill. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade during this engagement. The Web Weaver and bottom lane still pushing in as they trade out once again. Another 1-for-1 as we have Rainer for the Phoenix, and Xenaris is still just tanking damage. Meanwhile, as I said, Web Weaver and bottom lane got a lot of siege here. Catapult in as well, and Jinxie. The momentum has shifted drastically. Even though it's 2-7 in kills, it's 15s up with a quarter level difference, and this map is starting to open up a little bit for the members of We Take These. Is it possible for them to run it back?
We can definitely see that coming back, and what a heck of a team fight. That's all I have to say. That bottom wall coming down in that bottom lane. Like you said, 16 has been reached just a second before on the side of Quarantine Qappas, but it's just a second away from We Take These as well, and neither team, or excuse me, I looked down and so I was going to say neither team has turned in, but we do have it for Quarantine Qappas. We'll see if they're going to get in. Going to go ahead, grab the siege camp here. And we have 3 members still holding that 16, waiting to see what comes out of We Take These.
Leoric is going to be going to the Wraith build as we expected because of the 13. Entomb going to be coming out. Due to Bides is going to be singular. Oh my god, but the Celestial Charge is going to buy them some time as they get onto the far side. Jay's going to blink in here. Gust from the Falstad will be a good disengage tool as they say, you know what? We don't have any tools to sustain this fight. If they step into us, we lose this, because I think they... Did Bloodlust come out? Because it's like 80-second cooldown. It's like 90, isn't it? Yeah, so I think Bloodlust must have come out.
Bloodlust was dropped there. That's what prompted the Gust. Now, this wouldn't be a terrible time for We Take These to come in and look as those really big cooldowns have been burned, and that's exactly what we see. Hyperion coming out due to Bides, taking a little bit of damage there. Xenaris trying to Wraith Walk in. We'll have that Entomb back up in 14 seconds, but it looks like they were just posturing on each other. It's just a prank, bro. Everybody gonna go ahead and back up.
Dude prank, dude prank, dude prank, no, dude prank, it's okay. Dude Abide's gonna get the at least 20 in right there. Is that will be Entomb coming out from the Orc. They're gonna dive in. That's gonna be Tassadar, Archon form coming out. Bloodlust not up and available. Rainer's gonna be the first one to go down. Planet Cracker does come out as well as they Wraith Walk out. Tremor is so very low. Jet propulsions away, throws the, has the oil slick behind them, and with some, the boars do come out. That does give us slow, but they're underneath tower. They're gonna heal up with that, and they just lose their Rainer. But I don't, they find a Misha Bear. But this should be turn in unless they can poke at Lupus and Chaotic, and I don't think you do without your Rainer.
So one thing I want to talk about from that fight that I thought was just so incredibly smart by Jay was the Planet Cracker was dropped as soon as Anna dropped that Eye of Horus, just right on top of her, making sure she had to cancel it. Lost about half of her health there, and like, these are just the plays that you see at Heroic that like most players don't seem to think of at lower levels of play. Tremor coming out, nice sleep dart. Gus comes out, saving his life once again. And Falstad has really been the MVP here for We Take These.
Falstad going to be rotating in a lot of damage onto the Blaze. Hammering comes out. Bloodlust is going to be there as well. Tremor trying to get away. Barrel roll from Falstad gets in the far side, but Tremor cannot get through the side gate. Xenaris is going to be going down as well, and this is looking like there's a whole lot of damages. They have Web Weaver through bottom, mid, and top, and they have a huge wave coming in as well. Can they run through this bottom lane, keep, and potentially take the game? It seems like that's going to be the game plan. You can see them slightly, they're playing to the far side of this keep as they want to end this game as quickly as possible. They want to take a game 3 against We Take These because they believe game 1 was probably a fluke. fluke, and Hyperion only deters so much. We'll see what happens here. There's no Gust from Falsehead. It's going to be available for 14 seconds. 10 to 20 seconds on two heroes on the opposing side as they clear out the Web Weaver. Celestial Charge onto the Falsehead. He just barrel rolls towards their keep so they can at least have something to sustain them here. And do they defend this, Jinxie?
They're trying their best. Looks like Quarantine Qappas gonna jump back in. That Gust is back up, pushes them away. Nicely coming out onto two members of Quarantine Qappas. Out comes the Planet Cracker in retaliation for the Entomb. Falsehead is going to fall. However, Imperius and Misha do go down. Shredded Wind running for their life, but here comes Mason Blaze. However, only for a little bit of time. He goes down. Jay jumping on top of Xenaris. Lupus pops that Archon. Tremor doing their best. Jay is going to fall in the back. I stay, you go, allowing three members to get out. 2 for 2. Really nicely done. Level 20 reach there for Quarantine Qappas. 43 gems before we take these. This could be the turnaround play here as soon as they get all these lanes pushed out, Baha.
I'm a little blown away by this. Like, I didn't think that they'd be able to defend against that. They only lost 6% of their core. They're going to clear out their waves. They do have turn as noted beforehand. And I think with the 2 dead on the opposing side, they're going to try and... No, actually, they're not going to go for it immediately. I think they're going to push out the waves first so that way the Web Weavers descend out a little bit further and they do have a wave to push with as well. And this pushes them towards that 20 talent tier on top of all of that. I believe, 17 gems is necessary. Tremor had the majority of those, so they get that turned in. And this should be 20 to 20 for our next objective phase. But 16 minutes into the game, I don't know. The Web Weavers aren't that powerful. We could see it potentially end, as we almost saw that in the last push. I'll just be honest, it's 5 to 12 in kills, and every time they try and make something happen on the side of we take these, Quarantine Qappas just shut them down with that Imperius.
The Imperius is doing really solid, and another thing that Quarantine Qappas played around really well is trying to harass somebody enough that Gust has to come out and then bloodlusting and re-engaging. This poor Web Weaver in the middle lane losing so much health already. Out comes the bloodlust, out comes the Planet Cracker. It's interrupted. Wind Tunnel coming out. Rexar and Rhaegar gonna go down. Dudabites doing their best, but Bunker to seal the exit off. That is
What?
3 members immediately blown out. Jay next to fall. 4 kills just immediately taken, and this could be the end, but for the team who we thought was behind from the start.
Buried alive, Wind Tunnel, busted. Holy crap, did they find so much damage with that. And then they were able to get the Imperius at the last second. All that lives is Tassadar. They're going to rush through top lane. They're going to sidewall. They're going to take Qappa. You can see Lupus did finish out that level 1, does have that level 16 Thermal Lance, and they chunk some damage here. But the closest one to respawning is Rexar. Maybe Rhaegar, 23 seconds on roughly both of them. So they've got to make something happen here quick, as Archon form was pulled by Lupus. That is going to be Twilight Archon, but that goes down. That's all 5 members going down. And in an insane mid lane Entomb with Buried Alive, Wind Tunnel, the members of We Take These will be taking the heroic game and moving on through our bracket, I believe, knocking out Quarantine Qappa from Season 9 of NGS. GG, well frickin' played.
I am just in absolute disbelief right now, Baha.
That was wild.
The plays. When the Planet Cracker was dropped and I saw the Ana taking a little bit of damage, I was like, okay, it's going to be a repeat of last time. Then the Bloodlust came out. And I'm like, all right, I'm sure they've got this. But the Buried Alive connecting onto 2 members, shutting down everything that they had to offer. And then the Wind Tunnel coming out, disrupting that Phoenix. You don't have words. You can only just like make gasping noises. That's me right now.
You can only just kind of yell. And, yeah, exactly. It's yelling and gasping that it's just... We Take These as one of those teams that always blows me away consistently whenever they play, because of the fact that, yeah, they have DC issues here and there, and we have to shame them, of course, on stream, but it was absolutely wild how much they can take these. Now, we're going to lose Jinxie's beautiful face as we are going to jump into an interview, so let's go ahead and jump into Lobby 1 of NGS.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we'll get Jinxie in here in just a second. And we are joined by Xenaris here as well, just in time. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty hyped after that one because that was just.
Let's talk about game 2 here, because we are still like in shock a little bit. Okay, so Tomb of the Spider Queen, they have this single target pick composition. It's picking you apart. They keep building momentum. They almost get keep. Blah 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 blah. Was the Entomb wind tunnel kind of just like the Hail Mary you were planning on, or was it not even a Hail Mary? It was just, we just have to get to 20.
It's like we knew from the start that we had to play for the late game because against their early game, it's just insane. Imperius deals insane damage. Rhaegar Bloodlust helps them in the mid game along with Tassadar, and you know it's not fun laning against a Phoenix ever. So yeah, we just had to analyze our win conditions. We had Entomb, Silence Entomb, which is good. We had, like you said, Wind Tunnel with the Gust, which just helps a lot with like peeling off in the mid game. And then late game we can actually use it offensively as well. Like sometimes we don't need the Entomb. We can just like gust them against the wall, which was possible in that situation, but I mean it just kind of aligned.
It's seriously like it was just absolutely wild how well you played that. And Jinxie, do you have any questions for Xenaris here?
Yes, I do. So I want your reaction first and foremost to the Planet Cracker pick, because we were absolutely baffled. Were you expecting it with the composition they built, or were you guys kind of shaking your heads as well when it came out?
Honestly, it kind of makes sense when you're playing for like that single target blow up, but they do have to keep in mind that we do have an Ana with Stun Cleanse, which just gives 50 armor, so they can't entirely rely on that. But a lot of the time they did good value because like even though you just don't play around stuns, you can still play around the quarters, and especially like the entombs I tried to pull off. Because if you get entombed, a common combo is just like, oh yeah, you can just have a Leoric and Phoenix together, and then Phoenix just Planet Crackers the entomb. But you can just do the opposite of that as well if you're on the opposing team. If the enemy Leoric entombs you, then you can just Planet Cracker them back, and that choke that they made for themselves is already like in disarray.
Makes sense. But you guys played around it beautifully right there at the end. So well done, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was seriously such an amazing set. We Jinxie and I are both kind of like on the mental verge of just like, this is a game 3. At least I was just sitting there. I was just like, they might not take these, but you definitely do take these.
It was close.
I also do want to note this. You ended that game 16 minutes on the dot. Or excuse me, 18 minutes on the dot. I'm changing things in my head. But either way, yeah, no, it's just on the dot. Just a little note there is really, really cool. Before we let you run out of here, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours, my friend.
Let's see. Shouts to my team and the enemy team for, you know, doing these amazing, fun games that keeps Heroes of the Storm exciting. And as always, shout out to the audience. You guys are breathtaking for watching our games. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. Congratulations on your 2 victory, and good luck further down in the heroic playoffs.
You too.
Alrighty. Well, Jinxie, let's jump back into our call really quickly, and we'll...
Sounds good.
Let me start that video. Or wait, start call. There we go. I don't... I'm an old man.
Okay, there we go. It said that I missed a call from you, and I was like, huh.
Right away, instantaneously. But either way, sorry, Stark. Well, Stark with 2 Ks and a 4 in chat. The bracket is not correct. That is from Judo's ARAM tournament, which I forgot to update. But either way, want to thank you all so much for everything. But before we do all of the bandit pets and everything, we have to find out, Jinxie, where can people find you? What are you up to? What is your stream schedule like? Why should people come to your channel and see cute puppies and good Here's the Storm casting?
Well, I'm Jinxie Cat. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Jinxie Cat, spelled just like it is on screen. You can also find my Twitter. And just like Baha said, I do a lot of casting. I do a lot of streaming of my own team, because I play in NGS too. We're in Division A right now. So if you like Heroes of the Storm, you like tanking, and you like to see my weird little turtle dog, you can come check out. If you're looking for a break from Heroes, we do D&D on Saturday afternoons. So if you like some good D&D, Baha's in that, as some other friends you might recognize. Tetcher plays with us, Cat Peach, Moist Weenist. We've got 2 new friends, our friend Mike and Syraxia. All come in and have a really, really good time. And it's a lot of fun. So if you like dogs and you like watching me terrorize 7 of our NGS friends, then like come on down. We'd love to have you. And thank you so much, Bob, for letting me cast with you for these games. I was so jealous when you picked up this game, and it was a wonderful series, and you're always a blast to hang out with.
Well, thank you so much. You killed it as well. Please go follow Jinxie Cat. Do you know when the next time is? Like, are you casting tomorrow? Can anyone find you at a specific time?
I am. You can find me casting tomorrow at 7:30, I believe. I will be casting a B playoffs game. Let me just double check that right now. make sure I have the time exactly right.
These are the. It's just these caster moments where you're just like, I picked up 4 games this week. I don't know what time they're at. I'll just check the morning of.
Well, everything I actually said was super wrong there. It is going to be an A West team at 8 o'clock Pacific, and that'll be Tainted Orpheus versus Regen Retro. So some really strong teams coming out. Again, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or Daylight Time. You can come and watch some Heroes of the Storm over on my channel.
Well, Jinxie, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for casting with me. I'm going to let you get out of here and enjoy your turtle dogs, as I believe you said. But you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to being terrorized by you and all those beans on Saturday. So have a great night, and thanks again for stopping through.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a wonderful evening, and again, just thank you. You're amazing. I love
you.
your stream.
You have a great night.
Night.
You too.